Two, eventually. Sorry about the slight lateness. Morning to all you. You made it as well. Well done. Let's get this going. There we go. Hi, I'm talking this morning about JavaScript in the next generation. That's going to work for me in a minute. Morning, I'm Phil Nash. I work for Mint Digital. We are a creative agency, by which I mean we're not just an agency doing client work, but we also like to do our own stuff too, which is always kind of fun. We come up with our own ideas and our own products and things like that. Just a quick introduction here. A year ago we launched Stickygram, which is Instagrams into fridge magnets, and is kind of fun. And just this week we launched Foldable Me, in which you can make your own likeness into a small cardboard character. It's kind of good fun. We like doing these little things because it allows us to play with the web and play with tech and push the boundaries of the browser. And that little guy there in the middle is actually all rendered in CSS and HTML, but a JavaScript to make him spin every now and again. But that's all CSS. And so, yes, today I want to talk about pushing the limits of the browser. Not in CSS today, JavaScript today. First, I just want a quick warning. I don't feel like there's been enough pirate jokes made during any of the talks so far, so there might be a couple. I thought it was important enough that I should code up a flashing warning for you. This is just for fun. So, JavaScript in the next generation. Let's go straight into the pirate jokes because I feel like JavaScript, is a pirate's favorite programming language. Now, you might have thought it was R, but Java's R, I did warn you. But pirates have no real use for statistics, I've found. Let's get on behind that. JavaScript keeps getting better. We're a million years from where we used to use JavaScript to make snowflakes fall on a page at Christmas time, make something follow your mouse pointer. It was a silly little toy, but we're so far from there right now. And those glory days of DHTML are behind us. And now we use CSS to make the snow fall. It's much better than that. There are obviously new language features that are coming out and other kind of more mature libraries, polyfills, all that kind of stuff to help us. But that's not actually what I'm interested in today. I am interested in it. It's great that it's now easier to write better JavaScript. But today I am more interested in what the browsers are doing for us. This is... I'm kind of excited about the potential that they're unleashing for us by updating all the time, pushing new features out to us and coming up with these new features. And the ones particularly I want to talk about today are the device APIs. This is where the browser is now allowing us to hook greater into the abilities of a user's device, be it a laptop or a mobile. And we can make our apps, web apps, more like native apps, really. This is not a web versus native debate in any way. I'm not going to talk about it. But I do believe that the web should and will eventually win because of the development and standardization of things like device APIs that allow us to, because it's a standard that we just write it at one time and it runs in any browser eventually when they update. And that's what web apps kind of have going for them. And some of the ones I want to cover today are up there. Hold on. Lost my mouse. There we go. So geolocation. I mean, geolocation is kind of an old one, but I'm going to start with it anyway. Things like device orientation and device motion, the ever so sexy battery API, vibration API, cameras and microphones, and we'll see what else we got at the end. Geolocation has actually been around for quite a while. I'm sure you've heard of it at least. Has anybody used it? Geolocation API in the browser? A couple. Okay. It's available in all modern browsers, unprefixed, including Internet Explorer 9. It's brilliant. So if you have used it, it's as easy as doing this. If you've got geolocation available on the navigator object, You can just call getCurrentPosition, and you'll get a callback to a function which gives you the coordinates, latitude and longitude. As well as you also get the accuracy, and if it's available on the device you have, you get altitude and the heading, the direction in which the user's going in. It's got some fun. Oh, sorry, you can also watch the location, which will keep calling back every time the user moves, every time their location updates. And that's kind of useful because iOS actually likes to cache the location. And so if you ask for it the first time after a user's moved, you tend to get where they used to be, which can't be that useful. That's not just a web problem. That's happened to me on native iOS apps as well. And so you have to kind of, it's better to watch and update as far as you know. Uses for geolocation? If a pirate wanted to use geolocation to perhaps create his mates a treasure map, he could do that in the browser, and it'd be much easier to find than just trying to see an X. Also, obviously, if you've updated to iOS 6, you know you can go to the Google Maps website, which does do geolocation for you, and you don't get lost. Device orientation, device motion. These are a couple in hand. Actually, device motion is kind of a superset of device orientation. So let's hit that one first. This one gives us the tilt of the device, front and back, left to right, and also the direction if you've got a compass. If you don't have a compass, it just returns 0. It's context aware, so a phone or mobile device's resting state is actually kind of upright, whereas, and so tilting it that way and that way has different figures to a laptop's, which actually is based on the keyboard lying flat. So you have to keep that in mind, although not many laptops tend to come with accelerometers in them, so don't really have that much of a problem. Yes, we also have, so this is how you use it. If we have a device orientation event on the window, then we can listen to it, and it's just going to tell us alpha is the compass direction, beta is, let me check that, beta is tilt from front to back, and gamma is side to side. And then we get device motion, which, as I said, is pretty much the same, except you get the acceleration, the movement of the device in 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z. Again, this is context aware, so moving your laptop up and down, if it has a accelerometer, will be different to moving a phone up and down, or device up and down. I'm going to do a quick demo. It's a pretty silly demo. It's on this iPad. I mean, if you go to, that's a link, so if I release the slides, when I release the slides, that will take you to philnash.github.com/rainbow, which isn't online, of course. Bear with me 1 second. Yes, so the demo will show you the devices gamma and beta, and zebra web. And then if you wave it around, it will eventually show you a bit of a surprise, and I'll show you that in a minute once I've reloaded this page. Yes. Right, you can't see that, but that definitely says beta and gamma, and it's no things. And I believe if you go from there all the way to there, it's going to do a rainbow. It's a silly example, just to show what you might like to do with it. Now, obviously, if you're a pirate, you might be able to, you can code up your own compass and speedometer for your ship using this, which would look nice on an iPad just out there with the steering wheel. Otherwise, I mean, you can, with phones, for example, you can use them with, for kind of Wii-style gaming almost, which I've actually seen a demo of. It was built in a hack day, a 24-hour hack day, by a guy called Cornell. You may have heard of him. And it allowed people to effectively have a lightsaber battle with 2 phones, and it appearing on a 3rd screen, which is absolutely great, all through WebSockets and device motion. So the possibilities are fairly good, given that he did that in 24 hours, I think. So exciting stuff. More exciting, though, possibly the sexiest of the device APIs, the battery API. But I don't think it's sexy because you can get the access to the battery of a device. That's not right. Really, it points towards the direction that browsers are going right now in all this device access and the lower level access to device things that are important like that, that native apps have and can allow you to really become a native app. I mean, this is actually part of Mozilla's drive towards their Firefox OS mobile operating system, where everything is in the browser. And obviously we have the Google Chromebook as well, which is just a browser. But Firefox OS wants you to be able to do everything through a web view. And this is extending itself back out into our existing browsers. Yes, and also Firefox OS will actually allow you to rewrite core functions of the phone using purely JavaScript and HTML and CSS, which I think's great. If the browser becomes the operating system, then I'm already qualified to do it, which I'm not normally on native devices. So that's how you use the battery API. You can you can listen to charging changes and tell if the battery is charging, and other things like whether it's fully charged and what the level is, and you can listen to events on those attributes. That's not that sexy. I can't think of any pirate uses for it, though, which is rather sad. But for the battery, you can restrict features if you're finding you're on low battery, warn a user, all that kind of thing. The vibration API is also very simple, and I included it mainly for this quote that I found on the Mozilla blog, where they... And I think that's a shame. I think we should have risque kind of JavaScript APIs. And it doesn't stop you implementing that. I can't wait for the first one that actually comes out. That'd be brilliant. Anyway. And that's how you call it. It's a Mozilla thing at the moment only, so it's prefixed with Moz. So the top one there will make it vibrate for a second. The second one is a pattern of on, off, and you can give it as long a pattern as you want, and it will keep going. And that's pretty much it. It's simple. It might get more complicated, but that's all it does for now. But the stuff I'm most excited about, because it seems to exhibit the most power, is the camera and microphone access. And this is it, via the getUserMedia API, which allows you to get in a stream of the user's webcam or microphone. And again, it's just this simple. If you've got getUserMedia, you pass it a hash of options, the things you want, which could be video or audio or both. And then you get a success function and a failure function. And the success gets past the stream of data. Now, all these APIs tend to come with a bit of security as well, particularly in terms of cameras. We can't just be spying on our users if they have the right desktop, if they have the right browser. So there is security behind that, and you'll see that later in the demos. And so in your success function, what we can do very simply is just take a video element off the page, turn the stream into an object URL, and set the source of the video to that stream. And that will then start showing yourself in the browser. Now, looking at yourself's all very well, but what's getting even cooler is WebRTC. This is real-time communication. It's an initiative that's being pushed by Google, but has been implemented. That Firefox are working on it, and it's in their nightlies. And I don't know if you can do it in Opera yet. You can do getUserMedia in Opera, but I don't know if you can do WebRTC. It adds another another interface called peer connection, which allows you to do a peer-to-peer connection between browsers and allows you to do video chat, basically, all in the browser, all very simply. I'm going to try and demonstrate that now, if we can, if the Wi-Fi is going to work, with the help of my glamorous assistant sitting in the front row. So, what are we going to do? Adam, can you go to rtc.appswap.com? Are you on that? Did you get that? And then question mark r equals 152.01490. So just firstly, that's me on screen. Woo! And that's waiting and connecting, and hopefully, if, as I said, if the Wi-Fi allows us, does it say anything at the bottom? Anything about being initializing? Okay, it might not work. Damn it. Worked in testing. We'll move on. I had a couple of other demos to display anyway, just in case. So again, this is the permissions kind of thing. But what you can do with the video once you've got it is, that's going to confuse it because now it thinks it's got two cameras. This time. So what you can do with it is actually throw it into a canvas, and then you can start playing with it as well. In this case, I've simply added a frame around the side. You can throw it into the canvas using the request animation frame addition to JavaScript, which calls it at a decent frame rate. And you just pump all the stuff into the canvas, and you can do this. And then with a bit of CSS, we can start making our own Instagram. Right in the browser. And you can do some strange stuff, and then some really strange stuff, which I don't know what that was, but... and then have sepia on, and we can take a picture. And so, it's kind of good fun. And finally, another thing we can do with it, again, this is using Canvas. I thought, again, on the pirates thing, we've got pirate hats. I'm going to put this back on for effect. We have pirate hats. We saw Elliot Kemba yesterday in full pirate gear, but I have not seen any eye patches. And so, I don't have an eye patch. I have all my eyes. But what we can do is a bit of facial recognition. So that's when I move around. Eye patches for everyone. I might release that sometime later so you can take a picture of yourself with an eye patch, but I never got round to it in time. So let's get back to the slides. I said more demos. There we go. So that's the kind of stuff we can do with these varying new APIs, and I think it's exciting because it's fun. It's fun just to do those little bits, and but it's got the potential for incredible new user interfaces that we haven't been seen in the browser before, and you know, the web has always been a creative place to play with what we have. It's always been fairly limited, which makes what we had incredible. But now the limits are lifting. We're getting more access to the computers, to the devices, and we can do more. Like recreating Instagram or Skype in a browser is all very cool and everything, but that's been done. We can mix it up. We can do better than that. And the web has always had a good way of coming up with ways of doing that. And so I think it's the future. You know, it's the future of the browser. It's the future, perhaps, of the operating system if Firefox OS takes off. And we need to, we need to get out there. We need to play with it. We need to mix things up. You know, get an Edge browser, get that WebRTC stuff going, and the sky's the limit. And that's what I'm excited about. And that's all I have to say. So thank you very much. Any questions? It's supporting different things. The video stuff. So getting the video and audio with getUserMedia is supported in Chrome, although I think you may still have to turn a flag on. It might still be hidden away. It's supported in Opera 12. It's supported in Opera Mobile, which is quite cool because you can, start doing those things on Android phones. And it is in Firefox Nightlies. I think it might come out in 16. I think so. In terms of the WebRTC, the peer connection API, that is again, it's in Chrome but hidden behind a flag. It's also in Firefox Nightlies. That one, I'm not sure if it's an Opera at all. I can't remember. And Internet Explorer have said that we'll be working towards a WebRTC solution, although they had some different opinions about it to everybody else. I thought they'd learnt, but no, they are committed to it. And since Microsoft owns Skype, it's they think it's the future as well. So it will come out in these things. But right now, the WebRTC stuff's very edge. getUserMedia less so, but getting there. Anything else?
Is there an API to access the contacts of the device?
That sort of thing at the moment, I think, has been shelved by the W3C to think about later. I think Firefox will continue to work on it for the OS because they have to. They are working. The important thing is that Mozilla are working closely with the W3C to try and get all the things they're putting into Firefox OS standardized so that everybody can go with this kind of thing. But I'm not sure necessarily if anybody's working directly on standardizing Contacts API right now. They will do. But there was plans for other things like calendars, messaging, so being able to access the phone's SMS, email, that kind of thing. And obviously Contacts is important for that too. So that stuff will arrive in Firefox OS, but I'm not sure about its where it's going to go for other browsers.
Because it's interesting that friends.
Absolutely, yeah. Things might appear for that kind of thing through kind of the Web Intents API, which if you've ever used Android or developed on Android, that has the kind of intents thing where the browser makes available, an application will make itself available to the browser to be sent stuff. Like the examples are kind of Twitter and Facebook for sharing, but this can be extended to a lot of things, and particularly on the device, as already proved by Android. So it may come through something like Web Intents as well. That's worth looking out for. The what, sorry? Web Intents is being pushed forward by the Chrome developer team, but I think it's got a W3C working group, and so it's gaining momentum. It's still fairly new, but gaining momentum right now. Yes. Yeah, a couple of them, or there do exist a couple online already. The rainbow thing, which is obviously silly, but that's there. On my GitHub, which is github.com/philnash. I will try and put the slides up somewhere, which will have more links then as well. Yeah, I need to put the Instagram-y kind of one up. That's good. And actually, the WebRTC demo I was going to do was actually made by a Google employee who was working on the Chrome implementation for it as an initial example. I have tried to do the WebRTC and managed to mess it up somehow. So my version of it doesn't work, but yet. But that is available online as well and works beautifully. and is linked on the slide. So yes. Any more? Right. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Ah. Thank you very much. It was good.
And as always,
Ah, beautiful. Thank you very much. I will enjoy this. And this, I like the